TGIF, everybody. Welcome to a brand new, all new, in or out, pun intended, here on InRavio.com. Okay, so big show today, lots of entertainment news, and today's special guest, Skyping in, my good friend, the one, the only, Angelina Pivarnick, formerly from the Jersey Shore. She's going to be Skyping in with us to talk to us about an old friend of hers, the situation, and his new current fraud situation. Also, what her life has been like since reality TV and what she's doing today. But something that has been trending all over my news feed, and I am grateful for it. I don't know about you. It's today's in or out, pun intended, sound off. So I want you to sound off today. Tweet me using hashtag sound off about this. Camp Rock what? Nick Jonas has officially left his Disney days behind. The youngest Jonas brother channeled his inner Marky Mark, and while looking insanely buffed, grabbed his crotch while posing for the current edition of Flaunt magazine. He's now being compared as the new Mark Wahlberg. What do you guys think? Now, he posted some pictures on his Instagram showing his crack. This photo shoot is very, very revealing, to say the least. Now, a lot of people have been giving Nick Jonas a lot of flack lately, saying that he's trying to appeal to the gay audience just to make money. I don't know. It's working for me, though. But sound off. Like us on our Facebook page and post on our wall what you guys think of this. I'm okay with it. And if it means that we're going to have to buy a single, I'll surely do that. Anyway, today's out hole of the week, you guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. And Angelina is coming up on entertainment news. We have everything, the latest news on the Teresa and Joe Giudice sentencing that came out yesterday. Michael Phelps arrested. So much more. So stay tuned. We got a lot coming up on entertainment news next here on In or Out, pun intended. We'll be right back.
InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural.
And organic.
But strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice. And we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Welcome back to In or Out, pun intended. Do you know what time it is? It's time for entertainment news. Oh, God, good. Now come back to me. Come to me. Come back to me. Bong. Bong. This one is definitely a bong on my entertainment news scale. I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of TLC's Honey Boo Boo. And apparently Sugar Bear and Mama June have... Start over. Just start it over. Oh. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, we had a little technical difficulties there, but I got some great stories to make up for it. Okay, so first up on the bill, Fashion Police. We talked about it last week in the Sound Off, whether or not Kathy Griffin was going to be taking over the place for Joan Rivers. So the rumors have been too much for Fashion Police co-host Kelly Osbourne, and she took to her Twitter this week, sent a message to all her followers who were wondering who will replace the dearly departed Joan Rivers on the show. Her directness was pretty clear in this tweet. Enough already. Yes, at @E_Fashion Police will be back in January, but no one will replace Joan Rivers. Wow. So I wonder if they're just going to stick to the original three that are on right now, or if they're even going to, have a replacement, or maybe they're going to have Melissa jump in. Who knows? But I'll definitely be watching because, Fashion Police has become part of pop culture. Speaking of part of pop culture, producers at The View have met considering constructing a rubber room or timeout of sorts in order to stop the tension within the cast from escalating to the point of no return. A well-placed insider says, since word of last week's on-set verbal smackdown between outspoken Rosie O'Donnell and moderator Whoopi Goldberg got out of control, it happened right in front of the studio audience, the show's bosses have been discussing how to stop negative press on the idea of a timeout room. Having a live audience can be sensory overload, says the source. Rosie needs an area to tap into her inner peace, and the rest of the cast can use it to quickly unwind during a commercial break rather than letting the feelings boil over on set. So they are talking to the set designers to create a special area where basically the host can just scream bloody murder and they don't have to bring it back to the set. And it's going to be right behind the main stage. That way the audience won't notice if anybody has slipped away to cool off their temper. Now, speaking of The View, you might see Jennifer Lopez's big booty all over the internet, but one place apparently you won't see her is on The View. Reports from inside the show say that J-Lo will never make an appearance because of the ongoing feud she has with Rosie Perez. The two have never seen eye to eye, and they're certainly not about to start doing it on national TV. That's quite interesting to me. Now, in other music news, Pitbull and Enrique Iglesias' tour, apparently they're not selling as many tickets because currently they have a 50% off sale. Are people over Pitbull and Enrique Iglesias? It seems that sales for their current tour are bad. An email was blasted selling tickets for $10 for the Atlantic City show coming up, and several other Groupon offers for other shows at 50% off too. Ouch! I guess everyone's kind of over them. Another one that's having a rough time, Britney Spears, and with playing in a tiny theater in Vegas, you would think she would always be sold out, right? Wrong. Sorry, Britney fans. Hate to let you know this, but according to new numbers, her shows last week had nearly 2,000 empty seats. Oops, she better not do that again. Another recording artist that's kind of having some drama, Cher. Family members want the 68-year-old to completely cancel her current tour. Cher has rescheduled several dates due to a viral infection, but now family members feel the legend is pushing herself too hard and want the whole tour canceled. I'm hoping this doesn't happen. I have tickets to see her. It's already been rescheduled for December. That would really put a damper in my year. Anyway, so this broke headlines this past Tuesday. Everybody knows the infamous Olympian Michael Phelps and how he was arrested in the past for, marijuana. But this week, he was arrested for driving under the influence in Baltimore, Maryland. The U.S. Olympic legend was pulled over at around 1:40 a.m. in his white Land Rover with almost twice the legal limit. Officials issued a statement saying Phelps was initially pulled over for going 84 in a 45. Ouch. That's crazy. That's not good PR for him by any means. He needs to, instead of drink like a fish, swim like a fish. Speaking of somebody who's a little fishy, we reported last week about Honey Boo Boo situation with June and Sugar Bear splitting, but file this under what the what? After Mama June split from her husband, she has been on the prowl. And the first person that she's going after is none other than Honey Boo Boo's bodyguard. First question I have for you. Why does Honey Boo Boo have a security guard? And second question is, does anyone else find this weird? Ugh, the life of Honey Boo Boos. Let me tell you, I am howling on the inside. Now, this woman is no stranger to attention and causing people to howl. Aviva Drescher from the Real Housewives of New York City and her hot hubby Reed have joined the cast of WeTV's Marriage Boot Camp. The couple is currently in LA for 4 weeks filming the new season of the hit reality show. New York City housewives are filming at the end of the month, with Ramona now demoted to being a part-time housewife. Cannot wait to see this. Aviva, I have to admit, is TV gold. I mean, do we remember this with the freaking leg throwing? I personally am not a huge Aviva fan. I think she needs to go disappear somewhere, but apparently Bravo wants her back, so we'll see what happens. Okay, in some good news, Jackie and Kelso are officially parents. The report came out that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher have welcomed a healthy baby girl, making them officially 2.5 people. See what I did there? Pun intended. Anyway, sources close to the 31-year-old brunette stunner says she delivered Tuesday night at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in L.A. after hours of arriving to the hospital. No one else accompanied the superstar duo, but Ashton, who's 36 now, was by her side, but likely not too close. A quote she gave to the Ellen DeGeneres show back in June. She said, "My doctor and my significant other, and he is staying above the action. He'll be head to head, not head to vag, unless he wants to risk his life and see. But I wouldn't if I were him. I highly doubt he wants to see me being ripped apart and shredded, because it will be shredded. It's just a matter of how badly." Thank you, Mila, for that wonderful visual of what's going to happen to your downstairs area. Ugh. Okay, now, serious news. This broke yesterday. Joe and Teresa Giudice from the Real Housewives of New Jersey had their sentencing yesterday, and I have the scoop, okay? They have put up a united front since they were first indicted on dozens of counts of fraud last year. But at their sentencing yesterday in Newark, New Jersey, eyewitnesses told Radar Online that a distant couple appeared ready to go their separate ways. with Giudice even fuming to a friend that her husband had screwed her over. Teresa and Joe walked into the courthouse hand in hand, but after that, an eyewitness told Radar Online they barely interacted or even looked at each other. Joe had his hand on her back once for a few seconds, but other than that, they did not touch, and they took breaks separately with their legal teams too. They were so distant. What's more, says a source, Teresa looked very angry at Joe when the court was discussing the lack of transparency in their financial disclosures. When that part came out, she looked totally incredulous, shocked, and stared at him like she wanted to rip off his face. As we keep going with this, an insider confirms at the hearing, Teresa said through clenched teeth that she feels like Joe had royally screwed her over. According to Teresa, she only went along with Joe, with what Joe told her to do. She isn't smart enough to come up with a scheme to milk hundreds of thousands of dollars from everybody, banks, loan officers, mortgages, everything. She personally is absolutely stunned. Not only was she sentenced to 15 months in prison, but that she has to serve the time before Joe serves time. She feels screwed, pretty much. Ever since the indictment, Joe has promised Teresa that he would take the fall for everything and tell the court he was responsible for everything. Yet, he didn't live up to the promise. Instead, his lawyer said Joe needed to go to rehab for a problem with alcohol. Teresa is just stunned. This isn't the man she married. But her sentence isn't entirely her husband's fault, according to another source. Judge Esther Salas was out to get Teresa and showed absolutely no compassion to the mother of four, this source complains. Before the sentence was handed, Teresa tearfully told the court, "I am more sorry than anyone will ever know. I deeply loved my family. My four daughters are my life." She was scared, she admitted, and she wasn't going to deny it, and she was really scared. She insisted, "I fully take responsibility for my actions. I will make this right. I need to learn to do things for myself," she said. "I need to wake up." But the prosecutor wasn't buying it, saying she thumbed her nose at the court and now she wants sympathy. It's business as usual, according to this prosecutor. Teresa has to surrender to custody by January 5th of 2015, and Joe will be serving his sentence shortly after she finishes her sentence. Teresa and Joe, though, have already cut a deal to do a special Watch What Happens Live one-on-one this coming Monday after the Real Housewives reunion taping this Sunday. Teresa failed to disclose this, that she had a secret deal with Andy, when she begged the judge that she wasn't that biatch for Bravo. Interesting enough, the judge had originally considered her initial plea for house arrest and probation. But apparently, financial documents were not revealed to the court in a mannerly time or correctly. Like, they weren't everything. There was too many holes. She didn't apparently claim her Fabellini and Melania hair care income, and the judge just feels like, there's nothing I can do. You didn't give me the information I needed. You've had plenty of time to do it, so, this is the recourse. I do have to give it up to the judge, though. At least they're not both going away at the same time. Teresa has said publicly that if she were to go to prison and Joe was to go to prison, her kids were going to be split up. So, the judge also acknowledged that they're going to spend the holidays with their children and family. And he has to surrender on January 5th for a total of 15 months. And then after that, Joe will be taking his 41-month vacation, as they call it. My heart goes out to Teresa and Joe. As somebody who has met them and knows them personally, this is a really sticky, crummy situation. I don't think, a lot of people are saying that the judge was being harsh because they're public figures. Listen, when you have 41 indictments against you, there's no way you're going to get a slap on the wrist for this, whether you're in the public eye or not. You have the federal government after you. You're pretty much in a blank can of blank. So, yeah, I mean, this is what we got so far. I'm sure her lawyer is going to try to appeal the sentence to see if they can get, her on house arrest. But she had said in her statement that, she's over TV and everything else, yet she has the filming on Sunday, which is part of her contract, and she's going to be on TV on Monday to discuss her feelings on her sentencing. So, says one thing, does another. We know that's kind of like Teresa, but, it doesn't look good. Anyway, coming up next, the one, the only, Angelina Pivarnick, and she's going to give us some information on an old friend of hers, Mike the Situation. As I reported last week, he is now being indicted on tax fraud charges. So she's going to fill us in on what's going on her end and life after the Jersey Shore. So stay tuned. We got a lot more coming up here on In or Out, pun intended. We'll be right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to enravio.com/join the team.
Welcome back to In or Out, pun intended. We are here, and on the break of last week's news and the big news story of the day with Teresa Giudice getting her sentencing for her tax fraud. We mentioned last week, Mike, the situation is now going to be under the same kind of scrutiny. So I decided I would call in a favor to one of my good friends, to somebody who used to be close to Mike, to kind of discuss his new situation, pun intended. So I have Skyping in the one, the only, Angelina. Are you there?
Hey.
Hey, honey, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry about before. What's up?
It's no problem. Okay, so what are we going to do about this Mike the situation? This is insane. It's almost karma.
I don't know. When I heard the story broke out on TMZ, I was not in shock because I know how Mike is, and he's all about himself and he's all about his money, and I'm sure he didn't want to pay the IRS anything. So
Can you
therefore,
believe
that's
that
why he's in this situation.
Can you believe he actually made $8.9 million though?
I don't believe that's true. Honestly, when I heard that they said that he made 8.9, I was like, I second guessed that because I don't believe he made that much. Maybe he did. I don't know. But to be honest with you, out of $8.9 million, you're going to tell me you didn't pay the IRS? Come on, Mike. You're retarded. Wake up.
Exactly. Now, he's saying
Seriously.
he's kind of passing the blame, which is kind of notorious for something he would do, to his brother,
Of course.
saying his brother handled all his finances and things like that. Now, when you were on the Jersey Shore, you were on for 2 seasons, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You handled your own money.
Of course.
Okay. So what makes Mike, he's trying to get a sympathy vote from people saying, I gave all the finances to my brother, he was filing all my stuff for me. Is he just not smart enough to handle his own money?
Yeah, no, Mike is not smart at all. I don't even think there's anything upstairs. And I'm not kidding. There's nothing here. There's nothing but I don't know, just it's really sad. And to be honest with you, I do believe that he would pass it off to his brother because that's how he is. He wants everybody to be his scapegoat, from the drugs to everything, to girls, to lying, to everything. Mike has always been the one to put blame on other people, and he's notorious for that. And you know what? Still at his age, I think he's 33 now. I mean, Mike, grow up already. You're like an old man at this point. You need to really get it together. Get it together, Mike. That's how I feel. And you know what? If I ever see him in person again, which I haven't seen him in a while, I would literally say to his face, Mike, what are you doing? You know what I mean? The drugs, okay, supposedly he's off of them now. I don't really believe it, but whatever. And I think his brothers are just they went for the ride with him, and now he's blaming his brothers. If anything, he's much more to blame than his brothers,
I agree. And it's interesting to me, what do you think now, just coming off the sentencing of Teresa, now getting 15 months in federal prison? What is your opinion on that whole, reality TV stars getting all this attention on their finances?
I like Teresa. I met her. I've hung out with her a couple of times at events. I feel really bad for her and her family. I feel bad for her husband, Joe. I know a lot of people don't like him and they think that he deserves what he's getting. But you know what? They still have children, and they shouldn't have ever, fraudulently did something wrong. But you know what? At the end of the day, they still do have kids, and I feel bad for their kids right now because they're the ones that are going to be really, really, really hurting from all of this. I really do think that once you become a star, reality star, movie star, whatever kind of star you are magnified, definitely like a lot more than ever, like, because your money's on file. People could Google how much money you made, supposedly, if sometimes they get it wrong on the internet, sometimes they get it right, but you are out there basically, and anybody could say whatever they want about you, and your stuff is out there publicly. So basically, if you're going to do some kind of tax fraud, it's going to come out.
Right. All right, well, real quick, you're going to stay with us. We have to take a quick commercial break. Then I want to talk to you about life after the Jersey Shore. And you've recently just went around and did a couple of TV appearances, and you were on the Bill Cunningham show with your sister. So I want to dive into that a little bit with you and see how everything's been going with you. So hang tight. Guys, we'll be right back with more In or Out, pun intended, right after this.
Still recording?
InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural,
And organic.
but strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice. And we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
And we are back. Angelina, thank you so much for staying with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm so excited to see you. It's been forever since I've seen you.
I know, I haven't seen you in so long, Matt. I missed you.
I think the last time I saw you was the MTV Music Awards.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That was
I
a fun
remember
night.
That was a fun time.
That was.
And then the other time for the couples therapy.
Oh, that's right.
Premiere party.
That's right. Okay, so what has life been like since the Jersey Shore? You did couples therapy with an ex of yours. Obviously, that didn't work out for you guys. But what have you been up to?
I went back to school for a while, and I decided since I was a little girl, I always used to tell my mom, like when I saw somebody sick, that I wanted to help them. And my mom was like, when you get older, you can go to school. And I went into reality TV, and unfortunately I wasn't able to do that. So when I had a chance, I went back and I became an EMT. So now I'm helping people, and I'm loving it. I love helping people and just being there for people, and I feel really bad for people in need. So I feel like I'm giving back to society.
That's
That's
awesome.
one big thing
And that
I like.
also helps because a lot of people say reality stars are brainless. So for you to go back to school and
listen.
be an EMT, that's pretty awesome.
Well, the schooling was not easy, especially like there were two different programs, and one program was like a little easier, and the other teacher, because it depends on the professor, my professor was the hardest, and I actually passed. So people were not, everybody was saying like, Angelina's not going to pass. Angelina from Jersey Shore is not going to pass. And I actually did. So I'm proud of myself.
I'm
That's
proud of you
something that
too.
I did that on my own, and I studied, and you know what? And I'm probably going to go to school for nursing next. So we're going to see about that. And you know what? I'm hoping that that's going to be the next, journey for me. Other than that, that's what I'm doing, like, my regular life. For my reality star life, I'm actually going to LA in about 1 week for 2 new castings. I can't say what they are, but they're huge, huge, huge shows. So I'm really excited about them. And it looks like it looks pretty good. So I mean, for
So
me to
you
get it
do
is
see
what I'm
yourself
saying.
still on TV.
Of course. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not going to ever give up TV. If I could sit there and be on TV when I'm 80 years old, I'm going to do it, because I have that personality where I can't be, just a regular girl. I want to always be out there. I always want to be social. I love being like the center of attention. And I think when the camera goes on, I just know how it is. And I know how to just be myself, and I just go crazy. So that's one thing about me, and you know that, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm very outgoing, and I speak the truth, and I say how I feel, and that's one thing that's good about TV is somebody like that. So you need a girl like that on TV. What else am I doing? Oh, I did a music video. I have a couple of new shows lined up too, like a series called The Familia. I landed a huge role, one of the lead stars. It's probably going to be picked up by HBO. We're going to do like the promo shoot next week.
Okay.
So that's a big thing. And it's a mob show. So I'm excited about that because I love anything to do with the mafia.
Right.
Like,
I
it's
saw
crazy.
your cover of Mob Candy magazine. That was amazing.
Oh, my cover for Mob Candy magazine. Yeah. I was on another cover for this other thing in Jersey too, but the Mob Candy blew that one out of the water. I loved
Yeah.
it.
So
I got
recently,
that going on.
recently you've been around and in the news lately, and you've opened up about a personal situation in your family and in your personal life, kind of to draw attention to this epidemic that has kind of been blowing up in the United States over the past few years. You opened up about a personal struggle with you and your sister, if you want to go into that.
Yes, my sister is, right now she's 25, her name's Amanda. About 4 years ago, I had no idea like what was going on with her, but I didn't know she was doing drugs. Where I live in Staten Island, New York. It's like an epidemic there. It's actually where I live is where it's going on the most. Out of all the boroughs, out of Manhattan, Brooklyn, Long Island, Staten Island is the craziest with all heroin. So my sister started off with the pills, then she started snorting them, then she went to heroin because it was cheaper. So, me and my mom, we didn't really realize it at first. Then we started realizing at one point, after like for a little bit, it just kept going on and on and on. We had no idea. And then she started acting weird. And I'm like, why does she look different? She's like very, she just wants to fight with us all the time. And I didn't know why she was doing that. So then what happened was I ran into a couple of her friends, and they told me, your sister's in trouble, she's doing drugs. And I was like, drugs? What kind of drugs is she doing? And they said pills, but now she's shooting up. And I don't know, I don't
Wow.
do drugs. Like, I drank I drink socially. I was never the type of person to get into drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't like people that smoke cigarettes. I mean, not because, I just don't want people killing themselves, because obviously, I like to help people. And when people smoke, it scares me because I feel like they're going to kill themselves eventually down the road, And my sister, she was just very sick, and she was hanging out with the wrong people, and I didn't know she had track marks on her arms. So me and my mom decided to call the Bill Cunningham show up, because we tried everything. We tried hiring like an interventionist. They came in, they took her, they put her on a plane. I mean, nothing helped her. She came right out of rehab, because when you're not court mandated, you don't have to stay in that rehab. You can walk right out.
It's a voluntary program.
Exactly. It's voluntary. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. And my sister's of age, so she doesn't have to do it. You know what I mean? And she kept walking out. She walked out about 4 times. We were all so happy every single time out of the 4. Like, yeah, she's back in rehab. She's going to do this. She's going to do this. And about a week later, we got the call, like, she left. I'm like, here we go again. But this time, she's finally, like, after the Bill Cunningham show, he helped us out a lot. I think she realized, watching herself on TV, that, I am a drug addict and I have to get help, and I'm going to die if I don't. So, and she saw that her mom was in tears, and her mom was hurt, and her sister was really hurt. Even though she doesn't think I was a good sister, that's just the drugs talking. That's not my sister talking. When you're a drug addict, I don't know. I'm not one, so I don't know how it is. But so I hear when you're a drug addict that, it's not them really being themselves. It's the drugs.
Yeah. Now,
right now, my sister's in a rehab now. She's been in the rehab for 5 months. She's 70 days sober.
Awesome.
So I'm happy for her, or 80 days sober, something like that.
Okay.
And I'm really happy for her.
Awesome. And thank you so much for sharing that. You kind of put, it's kind of drugs in general, and especially when they're associated with the celebrities' families and things like that, they keep it, hush-hush and on the DL. I think, taking that step, and her taking that step to share her story as well on national television, it really brings a heightened awareness to something that really is plaguing, especially here in New York. I mean, I know personally someone who has overdosed and died on it. I've also somebody else that was trying to get rehab, and they had no room in the rehabs, they had no room in the hospitals. It's something that definitely needs attention drawn to it. So I appreciate you sharing your story.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm thank you so much for letting me tell that story. And, I'm just happy that she's on the right path now. And for all those people out there that are doing that, drugs, any kind of drug, I just feel like it's a killer, and you don't want to die. You want to keep going with life. Life is beautiful, and life is whatever you make of it. And to be honest with you, drugs is the wrong route to go on. And if you really, really, really need to see somebody, I suggest rehab and getting yourself on the right path again to being better.
All right, well, we actually have to wrap this up. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day today to talk with us. What's one message you'd want to give your fans that are watching today?
I just want to say I love all my fans, and thank you for being so cool on my Instagram and my Twitter and my Facebook. And I always love you guys, and just keep the love coming in, and just, rock it out and have fun.
Awesome. All right, Angelina, thanks so much for joining us on the show today. Guys, we'll be back with more In or Out, pun intended, right after this.
Thank you.
InRavio.com wants you. InRavio provides the best in TV, film, post-production, and so much more. And we're growing. Right now, we're looking for a team of pros that can join us. So what are you waiting for? We need show hosts, production crew, marketing gurus, sales experts, audio engineers, lighting, visual effects, and camera crews. We want you. Go to InRavio.com/join the team. world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to In or Out, pun intended, and it wouldn't be the end of a show if we didn't have an out hole of the week. Now, this may come as no surprise to you, but this week's out hole of the week is Mike the Situation. Obviously, Mike deserves to be this week's out hole of the week. Stupidity is no excuse anymore. If tanning beds are bad for your skin, I wonder what he's drinking in his Kool-Aid to mess with his brain. He is no longer a catch. I don't think he ever really was. The only thing you could catch is something you're going to need a cream for. So, Mike, congratulations. You are this week's, pun intended, out hole of the week. I want to thank Angelina for Skyping in with us today. It was great to catch up with you, and we wish you the best in everything that's going on in the future. Next week on the show, we have a big guest. So stay tuned, and you'll find out who it is. If you like us on our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/in-or-out pun intended, or you could follow me on Twitter at @OnlyMattMartin to keep up to date on what's going on here and on the show. Guys, be sure to check out our live streams and our contests. We have great contests coming up over at the Paramount in Huntington. You can visit them at ParamountNY.com. The Emporium here in Patchogue, Revolution, all these and more. You can click on our contest tab at the end of the show and find out what we're giving away great tickets for. There's so many things we have listed, and we want you to win. We've had a couple of winners from viewers of this show, so if you want to win, it's really easy. Click on the contest tab, enter to win, and you could be going to see some great stuff happening in the tri-state area. All right, guys, till next week. This was In or Out, pun intended, and you have a great weekend. I'll see you next Friday.